So today's agenda is abstraction. So what is abstraction? By definition, showing the functionalities and hiding the inner details of implementation. That is called as abstraction. Examples: in the real world example, we take a menu. Hotel shows you a menu bar. Menu bar will just show you the names of the items. Okay, so that is just an abstract view of the restaurant. The implementation of these items, the recipes of these items are in the kitchen, which the restaurant will not expose to you. Okay, so the menu card is just an abstract view of the restaurant. Similarly, I give example of a remote, a TV remote. So if there is a volume button and you press the up arrow key to turn up the volume increases from 19 to 20, let's say. Then again you turn up the volume, it becomes 21. If you keep pressing it, it will increase over there only 23, 24, 25 like this. And you turn down the volume, it will come down back from 25 to 24, from 20 to 19. So as long as whatever task this button is supposed to do, it is performing, you are least concerned about the inside technology as to what has been used to implement this remote control, what circuit diagram has been used, and what motherboard has been used, and what registers have been used. You are least concerned. So the manufacturer just exposes an interface to you, and he hides the internal details, the internal implementation details. Okay, so these were the real world examples. Now let's come back to a concept. So to understand abstraction, we have to understand two concepts primarily. So let's understand them with these. So I have made three columns over here: white, gray, and black. So white is the presence of all colors. Okay, if a white light is passed through a prism, it will refract into seven colors. Okay, Vibgyor colors. So which prove that white is the presence of all colors. If you pass a black light through a prism, I doubt it will refract into any color. So black light is absence of all colors, and gray is mixture of black and white. So I wrote a class over here in the white column which contains three methods. So total how many methods are there over here? And how many methods have a definition? Means the function should have a body that is called as definition. All the three have. So here I will say presence of all bodies. What will I say? Of all function bodies, right? Presence of all function bodies, because each function, you have three functions and they all have a body, correct? Similarly, we have black now on the opposite spectrum. Okay, so let's try to figure out what black will be. So I'll copy this code and paste it over here. Okay, so now you all tell me how many functions do I have in total. Tell me how many functions do I have in total now? Total three functions. And how many have a definition? Only two functions have a definition. Which function does not have a definition? Okay. Okay, sorry. You enter the black column, right? Now tell me how many functions do I have over here, and many functions do I have? And how many bodies? So absence of all bodies, right? So total I have three functions and body or definition function definition is zero. Means what? Absence of all function implementation or all function body. Okay. Okay. So in Java, a function which does not have any implementation is called as an abstract. What is it called as? Abstract function. Just has a name, does not have an implementation. In a interface, all the methods are abstract. In the interface, all the methods are abstract. So by default, all the methods are abstract. So we don't have to write abstract. Okay, whatever is default, no, is written in square bracket in a syntax. Whenever you do the syntax and you see square bracket means by default. So by default, everything in a interface is abstract. So all the functions are abstract. So even if you write or you don't write, they will still be abstract. And the specifier is public in an interface. So in an interface, each method is public abstract. If I write or if I don't write, correct? Even if I write, it is still public abstract. If I don't write, it is still public abstract. So a function which does not have a body is called what in Java? A function which does not have a body is called as abstract function. In interface, all the functions are abstract. All the functions are abstract. Okay? Okay. This is the era of pre-8. Okay? So, which is the current Java version going on in the market? Java 24. And Java 25 is going to be released, I guess, in few weeks, few months. Okay, so Java 24, then there was a version Java 8. This Java 8 was a very big game changer, okay, in regards to Java vertical, Java 8 when it was released. Okay, so lots of things were introduced in Java 8. Okay, so you all can research on this. This is a very comprehensive, detailed research, will take time. Okay, so if anybody, now this is the most common interview question. Are you aware of any Java 8 features? So those candidates who have the time over the weekend, okay, because I'll be traveling on this weekend, maybe from tomorrow 4 o'clock I'll be traveling and returning back on Monday morning. So I guess we will not have sessions on Saturday as well as on Monday also. So you all have 2 days complete. You all can research on Java 8. At least theoretical part you all can accumulate. Then we can discuss in detail. So Java 8. So the pre-Java 8 era and the post-Java 8 era has been very, very, very different. So the JDK which I am using is Java 1.8, right? So that's why I'm using this JDK version. 1.8 is 8, okay? When I say Java 1.8, it points to version 8 only. So after 1.8, there have been lots of reforms in the interface. So what this discussion is 1.7 related. So what we are discussing over here in this rectangle, this is with regards to JDK 1.7. 1.7. So your JDK versioning information should also be okay. If you can bring that in the interview discussion as to what version we are working on and which version implemented which feature, is bound to impress the examiner. If us as freshers we can discuss versioning in our interview, there is nothing like it. An experienced candidate, they'll have to discuss this. Okay, so this discussion which I'm doing over here is with regards to which version of Java? 1.7. So in 1.7 in the interface there were only what? Abstract method. So what do you feel? What gut feeling do you are having that what would have happened in 1.8? Yes, correct. That is called as a default method. That is called as what? They've added default methods. So that is a different topic. So let's come back over here. This is in your even your academics also is based on 1.7. So your college academic is also 1.7 based. So y'all can write in the theory also. Okay. So no need to write about 1.8 in the theory. Don't be proactive over there because the faculty might not be aware of it and she might give you the answer wrong. How can you have implementation in interface? Then you'll have to go and justify it to her. And I'm talking about Java 1.8. So a function which does not have any implementation is called as an abstract function, and a interface has all the functions as abstract. What is the default specifier in an interface? And what is the default specifier in a class? So what is the specifier of this F1? Is it public? Huh? Umar, pay attention. What is over here? What is this? Okay, sorry, my bad. I wrote over the public. What? Sorry. I wrote over the public, so I'm asking what is the specifier. Okay, now what is it? What is the default specifier of F1 now? In a class, what does the default specifier a function has? Package level, right? What is the default specifier in a class? Package level, right? Yeah, so don't write over the package level, just for your understanding I'm saying. So is there any difference in the access specifier in an interface or a class or no? Shruti, is there any difference in the access specifier in a class? Default access specifier, default access specifier in a class and default access specifier in an interface. Is there a difference or is it same? Class is the default. Okay, the default one is the default. That is package. So default access specifier in a class is def- the default one, which is package. And what is the default access specifier in an interface? So if I do not provide anything, I just cite over the function f1. By default, it is and public also and public also and abstract also, right? So if I do not provide anything for the remaining two, aren't they public and abstract? If I write public and abstract only for the first method, so is there any difference between F1, F2 and F3? So F2, F3 also are public abstract. Okay? No. So here that's why I call it as black because there is no implementation. Now let's come to gray. So what do you think will be in gray? Use your just common sense. Yes. So when these you know, in a kingdom, when they would want to crown a new king, so they would go to the saints and the pious people of that kingdom that we want to crown a new king. So can you recommend anyone? So they would say, just give me a person who is honest and has little bit of common sense, and he is worthy of being king. He is worthy of being what? The king of the nation. What the state says to them, he should have only these two qualities. He should be honest, have a not entire amount of common sense, just a little bit of common sense also if he has, we can declare him as the king. So common sense says that if it is mixture of them, then there might be a situation that there might be implementation over here. And now this also is a class, okay? This is also a class, class C. So what will be the default specifier of F1? Package level, because it's a class, correct? And is F2 having an implementation? So these two are. So the function which have a implementation is called as concrete method. You don't write concrete before them. Just it's a term to describe a function which has an implementation. So these two are which methods? Concrete methods. And here now I'm in a class, right? So in a class is a function default, is the function abstract by default? No, right? So here you have to explicitly write the keyword abstract, because here the function can be or cannot be, right? So if I go to the Indian team dugout, I go to the Indian team where they are sitting in a match, and I go to that dugout and I shake hand with everyone. Do I have to ask which nationality are you? Yes, no, maybe. Because I'm in the Indian team dugout, so it is common sense. Each one is an Indian national, correct? But if I go to a RCB dugout, Royal Challenger Bangalore dugout, and I shake hand with everyone, now is that question valid? Which nationality are you from? Because I don't know, right? Is whether he is an Indian or not. So likewise over here in an interface, all functions are abstract. So if you don't even write abstract, it is still understood that it is an abstract function. Okay. But in a class, you can have concrete and abstract both. So you have to write over there. This is the abstract function. Just by showing this, sir, I have not given any implementation. Doesn't it mean it is abstract? No. You have to show over there. So just that, sir, he is sounding fair. He might be some foreign national. No. Okay. There are fair people in India also. So I cannot assume that. So you have to write over there abstract. So now how many total methods are there? How many total methods are there over here now? Total three. And how many have an implementation? Okay, so body or implementation we have two. And how many abstract? Only one. So mixture of both, right? Okay. So when all are playing for one nation, that is T20I. That is called as what? T20I means what? I stands for international. T20I stands for T20 international. So when Virat Kohli is playing for India team, the runs he scored will go under which statistics? T20I. And when he's playing for RCB, will only go for T20. So interface when all are abstract, and if a class contains a single abstract method, then that class is termed as abstract class in Java. You have to write the keyword abstract before the class. if a class contains even one single that is called as an abstract. Okay, so if there are 10 people of Indian national and only one foreigner, one overseas player, so it is T20 or T20I. T20. And if all 11 are of Indian national, yeah, so even if one player is from a different national, then that is league cricket. That is your league cricket. That is not international. So over here, even if you have one abstract method, then that becomes into an abstract class. So if a class contains all concrete method, this is called as concrete class. There is no keyword called concrete, okay? This is just a term defined for classes which have all methods have implementation. So do not write this before a class name. It's just a terminology. It's just a logical terminology. So is a concrete class? Why is it a concrete class? Yes. So all the methods as all the methods in class A have implementation. It is known as which class? Concrete class. Okay. Second point, concrete class can be instantiated. Concrete class mean, what is the meaning of instantiated? Yes. We can make objects of that class. So can I make object of class A? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, we can make, right? So if I say over here A is new A, is it permissible? Is it allowed? It is allowed. But here abstract class cannot be instantiated as class C contains one abstract method. So even if one player is there of a foreign national, then yeah, it is T20. So if he scores a century in that, it will go against his T20 statistics. So if you go and check the statistics of a player, if you go and check of a, so if you check Virat Kohli's statistics, you will see that it is Test, ODI, T20 and T20I. If you go and check his statistics, see, Test, ODI, T20, T20 and T20. See, this IPL is different. T20I is international cricket. International T20 matches and league T20 matches. Okay. Let's take some other player. This chap only plays one league, no? This chap only plays one league. See over here. Why is he only showing IPL over here? So they're showing only leagues as IPL. Then there are various other leagues also. Sure, let's not go into that. So as class C contains one abstract method, it is known as abstract class. And abstract you have to physically write over there. Concrete, no need to physically write concrete keyword. Concrete is just an so as class C contains one abstract method, it is known as a abstract class. We need to prefix the which keyword? Abstract keyword before the class name. Okay, 3. And now, yeah, as have it no abstract method. So third is abstract class cannot be instantiated. Abstract class cannot be instantiated. You cannot create an object of abstract class. We cannot, irrespective it is Java 8 or Java 7, this point is still valid. We cannot create an object of abstract class. Not possible. Then what is the use? Its use is it can only act as a parent class. It if we have to benefit from an abstract class, it can only act as a super class. Okay, it can only act as a super class. You cannot make an implementation of it, so you can only inherit it. Means you have to do what? Inherit, and then we have to. So this the theoretical part of it. An interface, all the methods are what? Abstract. Yeah, and this is a class, right? So it can also have data members. This is a class, right? So these are classes, yes or no? So what is A? Class. What is C? Class. And what is D but B? What is B? B in interface, correct? So in an interface, the rules are different. In an interface, what functions are public and abstract. In a class, functions are no. I'm talking about specifier. They are default, default. Okay, and by default it is non-abstract. By default it is what? There is no non-abstract. Just by function is by default. Okay. We can also have data member in a class. Yes or no? If I have, if this was a class student, I could have integer roll number, string name, blah blah blah. Correct? So did I write anything before it? So by default, each of them are instance scope, right? By default, what are they? What? From which scope are they having? Local instance or static? By default, if I don't add anything. Yes? So for the data members, default it is which scope? Instance scope. But for a interface, the default is static scope. For interface, the functions are which scope? Static also and final also. Static and final. Static also and final. Final means it cannot be modified. Cannot be. So can we have data in an interface? Can I declare data in an interface? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, but what will be the data? So if I declare over here integer A, if I declare over here integer A, what is this A? Static, static and final. So I have to initialize it over here itself, right? A equal to 5. Can I modify this A value? Why no? Final, because okay. Yes, so in a data member, in an interface, can I have data member and functions both? Yes.
Yes.
Functions are by default public and abstract, and data member are by default what?
Static and final.
Static and final. Okay, getting it? Okay. Now let's try to take an example. So let's say now there is a template we have given, okay, that if you plan to marry, you should be able to shoulder these responsibilities. So we make a interface called as husband. So you should take care of the accommodation, you should take care of the coding, you should take care of the healthcare, you should take care of the travel, you should take care of the education of the kids. What else are we compliant to? Yes. Okay, clothing, you should take care of the clothing and all done. Yeah, primarily basic needs are done. Okay, then there are many other things, but the basic. So if now a person, he wants to get married, let's say Tom wants to get married. So class Tom. So he says, I am willing to shoulder all these responsibilities. So he will say, I will implement which interface? Okay. So let's say Tom's salary is 5 lakh per annum. So he will fulfill this responsibilities as per his budget, yes or no? So he says that I will provide the accommodation in a 1 BHK. So he will try to implement this now. So when a class says implements interface, now as the interface has no implementation, right? The class's responsibility to give the body. So now he will say, okay, accommodation, I will accommodate the incoming wife in a 1 BHK. That is my budget as of now. So he has given the implementation. Fooding.
Yes, sir.
So fooding, he says, I will accommodate her. Okay, let's say once in 2 weeks we will go out for dinner. So okay, so he says, I will take her out for dinner. What? 14 days. Once in 14 days. Every 2 weeks, I have the budget. I can take her out. So this is then healthcare. So he says the local doctor, okay, the local family doctor will take care. So I will go, if she falls ill, I will go and show it to her to the local family doctor, and I will bear the expenses. This is my way of managing the healthcare. Travel he says once in a year. That's my budget. So travel, I will say, he says once in a year we'll go in the summer vacations once in a year. And clothing, he says, I will buy on festivals only. Okay, or whenever there will be a festival or marriage, festival or any marriage in the family, I will buy dresses. This is what his way of implementation is. So if the bride's father is okay with all this implementation, he will say yes, else he will say okay, we
Yes,
will
sir.
let you know. Now the second suitor comes, class Jim, and now salary is, let's say, 15 LPA. So Jim will implement this same interface in a different way. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So Jim says, okay, I will accommodate her in a 3 BHK. So all these implementations, so the husband interface is just giving abstract view of a husband, right? And each individual can do it, implement it as per his or her own capacity. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But is will Tom get a wife or not sooner or later? Yes, no, maybe, because he's fulfilling all the duties, right?
Yes, sir.
So he is a concrete husband. Who is Tom?
Concrete.
And there will be a time wherein he will be instantiated. Correct?
Yes, sir.
But now Jim comes. He has 15 LPA, so he's now trying to implement or trying to impress. He says, I will accommodate in a 3 BHK. Fooding, he says, we'll go out every Friday, every weekend. Okay? Every weekend, he says, we will dine out. ये जो नेता लोग के वादे होते हैं ना, उससे खतरनाक वादे ये होते हैं हस्बैंड के. तो and he says healthcare, my company has given a insurance and I will treat you in the, okay, 3-star hospitals or all the insured hospitals. He has company insurance. Okay, so he says no need to worry, I have company insurance and that will be managed by the healthcare. Travel, he says, we'll go once every quarter, means every 3 months we'll go. Once in 3 months we will travel out. Okay, this is his budget dictates that. Okay, and clothing, we will say we'll wear every month we'll go out for, okay, when we will go out for travel we'll shop also, so every 3 months we'll buy new dress. So he will get a wife according to his status, correct?
Yes, sir.
So can Jim be instantiated? Will Jim get a wife sooner or later? So Jim,
Yes, sir.
J1 is new.
Yes,
Jim.
sir.
Okay. Now let's come to one more wife, one more person. Class Harry. Now Harry, he says that I will take care of the accommodation and the fooding, okay, as per whatever he has, blah blah blah. But he says, whenever you will fall ill, I will send you to your father's house. You go and get treated over there. And you buy also clothes from your father's house. And traveling also you roam with your father. Now, is Harry suitable of being a husband?
No,
So
sir.
he is an abstract husband. He is a
Abstract.
he's not fulfilling all the complete duties, no.
Yes, sir.
So he is a abstract husband because there are still 3 duties to be still fulfilled by him. So what is he saying? He's a abstract
Abstract.
husband because he is only fulfilling 2 responsibilities. Okay, then the people of his family will counsel him that this is not the way. So then he will, okay, or they'll send him in Jamaat, and then when he'll come back, okay, then he says, okay, now I am willing. So now a new Harry comes. So a new Harry comes, and now he is willing to take responsibility of other things also. So what is Harry, class or interface? She have written over here implements, right? Husband. So by signing the contract, when you sign a contract, when you sign implements an interface, you are bound to respect the contract and implement all the methods of that interface, correct? Okay. What was
Yes.
Tom doing over here? Of see, hu- implements husband means super, which is the super and which is the sub over here, because we are implementing from them, right?
Yes.
So husband is the super entity, and Harry or Tom is the sub entity, and Tom is implementing husband, correct?
Yes.
So when there is a function already there in my parent entity with the same name and same argument, I am writing the function with the same name and same argument again in the child entity also. So what am I doing over here? What am I doing over here? What are we doing over there? We are overriding. What are we doing? Override. So we have to override the functions of the implement of the interface, because the function with the same name and same argument already exists over there, right? So whenever you implement a interface, you have to do what? Override all the methods. Okay, so you have to override all the methods. You have to override this also, override this also, and override this also. Okay, he also done overridden. Now, how many functions have Harry overridden so far? Only two functions, correct? Now, how many functions are still left? Two more. So, three more. Okay, so here, okay. So here, let's come to take Harry's example. So, how many husbands? How many functions were? How many abstract functions were there in husband? Five. And how many did Tom override? Five. Tom is which class? Concrete class or abstract class? And so I can make an object of Tom. But here, how many functions are there in husband? Abstract methods. How many abstract functions are there in husband? Five, right? And how many methods did Harry implement till now? Override. Only two. So there are still three abstract methods still there in Harry, correct? So Harry has two concrete methods and still has three abstract methods. So can I make an object of Harry? No. So I make it into an abstract class because this is an abstract class. Class Harry. Then he's gone through counseling, and now new Harry. So new Harry will do what? New Harry will carry remaining, right? Okay, so what? See, Harry implements husband. New Harry does what? देखो मैं तुमको डायग्राम चेंज करता हूँ, राउंडेड एज का जो रेक्टेंगल है, राउंडेड एज का रेक्टेंगल, इसको हम इंटरफेस बोलेंगे। रेड कलर का राउंडेड एज का रेक्टेंगल को हम इंटरफेस बोलेंगे। तो हस्बैंड क्या है? इंटरफेस है। क्लास क्या करती है? इंटरफेस को इम्प्लीमेंट करती है, ठीक है। तो ये जो रेड लाइन है ये क्या है? ब्लैक लाइन है ये क्या है? इम्प्लीमेंट्स, राइट? ओके। ओके, न्यू हैरी भी क्या है? और ये ब्लैक कलर का जो शार्प रेक्टेंगल है, व्हाट इज इट? क्लास। So class implements interface, correct? न्यू हैरी भी क्या है?
Class.
सो क्लास क्लास को क्या करती है?
Extend.
एक्सटेंड्स करती है, इसके लिए मैंने ब्लैक एरो दे दिया उधर। ओके, ब्लू एरो, एरो चेंज करना पड़ेगा, एरो चेंज करना पड़ेगा। तो अगर एक्सटेंड्स बोलना है तो कलर कोडिंग चेंज करनी पड़ेगी। एरो, व्हाट एरो हैव आई गिवन? इफ इट इज not, because people who are not so okay, so now what does this mean? What is happening over here? Yes, so this is called as extend. This is called as what? Extends, because I told no, in abstract class inherit का काम ही करती है सिर्फ। यहाँ पर क्या आएगा फिर अभी? Extends, which extends what? Extends husband, extends Harry, हैरी, ठीक है। अब नाउ आफ्टर काउंसलिंग उसको आइडिया आ गया कि भाई बाकी चीज़ें भी करना मेरा ही फर्ज है। तो what things were lagging? Where Harry was lacking healthcare, so he starts. He says, "Okay, I'll go to the family doctor. I will not. I don't have the budget to take insurance." Okay, so he says, "I'll take for the family doctor." Then what is left? Travel. Okay, I'll once in a year I will take her out for travel also. And okay, अब इतना ही बैटरी चार्ज हुआ था उसका, इतना ही बैटरी चार्ज करके आया था वो काउंसलिंग में। अब अभी भी हैरी कौन कौन है? अभी भी न्यू हैरी अभी भी क्या है? क्यों एब्स्ट्रैक्ट क्लास है? विच इज दैट? He is implemented accommodation, fooding, healthcare, and travel. See, when he says implements husband, all the five methods they come over here. Out of that, he is overridden two, but still three are abstract over here. Which were they? Abstract, healthcare, travel, and okay, abstract, healthcare, travel, and clothing. They were still abstract. So now when so he has two concrete plus three abstract, right? So now when the class new Harry extends Harry, he has overridden which all? Healthcare. So now this Harry has four concrete, right? Plus one is still abstract, which is that clothing. And if a class contains even one single abstract function, it is called as, so it
Abstract
will
class.
be called as abstract class new Harry. And then again they send him for counseling and something. Again he comes back, new Harry Pro. New Harry Pro. And new Harry Pro will do what? Extend or implements. Which new Harry. And now he comes and then he says, okay, I'm willing to take the responsibility of the third, fifth thing also. I will try to give her clothing also. But that will be only on festivals and marriages. He says, okay, we agree with that, no problem. And now this will not be abstract class, correct? Now it is a concrete class. And now can we make new Harry Pro? Yes. So now it can be instantiated. New Harry Pro can be instantiated. Okay. And H1 is new Harry Pro. Correct? this is what is your interfaces and abstract classes. Making sense? Let's try to implement it. Is my screen visible to you all guys? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Visible, right? So where was our ET? One second. So I make a new package, D8 in abstraction. In that package, I'll first go and make a interface. Right click and make an interface. What name will I give to the interface? Husband. Okay. And what all things will we give over there? Accommodation. And after accommodation, fooding. And then healthcare, travel, and now what is the specifier of this? What are the specifier of this? Public protected what? So when by default public, right? So when Tom will override it, so what will Tom give over here? Which specifier? If Tom does not give anything, it is default. So default of class is package level. So will it allow? Yeah. So whenever you do override, you have to give the same or you have to give the wider. Okay. So now let's come to Tom. So if I say, see the IDE, no IDE, the beauty of using a IDE like Eclipse, IntelliJ IDEA, see what you will get over here. So now if I do Tom over here, and Tom implements an interface. Okay, so if I take an interface which is implementing, if I click add over here, which was that? Husband, right? And by default, if you observe, every class is inheriting from which class? Which is the super class of every class by default. Now as I give finish, you see what happens. It will give you all the default implementations. Getting it? And it is just giving you a 2D. It is just giving you a 2D that you do this. Does that make sense? Your development speed becomes faster now. So accommodation, where was Tom accommodating in? One BHK. Tom's affording was once in 14 days, right? And Tom's healthcare was local family doctor, right? Local family doctor. And Tom's clothing was festival and marriages. And Tom's clothing travel. Okay, travel. What was once in a year, right? Once in a year. So now is Tom a concrete husband or abstract husband? So if I say abstraction demo, or if I say abstraction driver, so by we know that by driver it should have the main method. So can I make an object of Tom? Yes, no, maybe. Yeah. So whose reference can I use to point to Tom? I can use Tom reference also. Object reference? Object class reference. Okay, object class reference. T2, okay, and T1 dot accommodation, T1 dot clothing, T1 dot coding, T1 dot travel and T1 dot healthcare. All it is doing right. Save and run. Okay. Okay. So here reference is of Tom,
Okay.
and object also is of Tom. Both are of Tom. Correct. And overriding has happened. Overriding has happened or not?
Yes.
So what was the mantra of overriding? Data, reference, and method belongs to the object. Correct. So what type of object we are having over here? New Tom. So all of Tom. Correct. Can I have done this? Yes. No. It's a parent entity, right? Even though it is an interface, it is still a parent, right?
Yes.
So not necessarily only class will be the parent. Interface can also be parents. Correct. So now possible. So now reference is of, but object is of Tom. Method belongs to the object. So what will be displayed? All Tom's implementation. Correct. Same. Possible. And then you can also do object also, right? But now see what happened over here. What happened over here? Why is it? Now object has not given Tom all this, right? Now what happened over here? So yes, so it is not. So let's, when we have given that, we'll stick to our level only. Okay. So far so good. Now let's create. Now directly go to Harry. No, Jim was okay, right? Directly come to Harry now. Harry. Harry. So I make a class. Harry does. Now I can write over here. Implements what? Implements what? Husband. Now when I say implement husband, it shows a line under Harry. Did you observe over here? So it says you have not added the implementation. So now if Harry only wants to add the implementation of two, what are the two? Okay, Harry only wants to override these two. So will Harry be considered as a concrete husband or abstract husband? So it is asking. See, so this red line is telling either you override all five or you become abstract. Correct? So it is saying add the unimplemented or make it abstract. I make it abstract. Now all good. Now can I go and make object of Harry over here now? Yes. So if I say Harry, H1 is new Harry, can I instantiate? It is not allowing me. Take the mouse over there, see what it says. Cannot instantiate the type Harry. So now then what we'll have to do? We have to send Harry for counseling. And once Harry comes back from counseling, he will be new Harry. Okay, so let's say he was a fast learner, and in one counseling only, the his wife's brothers did the counseling in a room. They took him to a room and then they did his counseling over there. And Harry understood the concepts clearly. So once he was back, so he understood what he has to do. So now he implements all these things. Okay, he got it. Three things. So now new Harry extends or implements. Extends Harry. Now again it is showing red line. Why? Because Harry still has three. How many abstract functions does Harry have? when I go over here and I say add the unimplemented, it will add the three unimplemented. Getting it, guys? Rest two are implemented, no? So I'll override them. Okay. Now can new Harry be instantiated? Harry was not able to instantiate, right? So new Harry, can I have new Harry object? New Harry, and I can have now what is the reference can be of what over here now? A new Harry object can have reference of itself or Harry or husband, right? Guys, getting it? Aradhya can be pointed by Aradhya object, Aradhya reference, Abhishek reference, or Amitabh reference, correct? So here if I have new Harry, H1 is new Harry, possible? Yes or no? So if I call all these functions, let's change the implementation or else it will be same like Tom only. So let's comment out Tom and let's change the implementation of Harry. So Harry says 3 BHK and once okay, every weekend. And then new Harry says healthcare, company insurance, travel once in a quarter, 3 months, and clothing also once in a quarter. So when you will go for travel, they will buy clothing also. So now when I come over here and if I say with h1 I call these functions h1 dot accommodation and h1 dot clothing and h1 dot fooding and h1 dot travel and h1 dot healthcare, what will be the output? 3 BHK once in a quarter, every weekend once in a quarter, company insurance, correct? Okay, now can I have the reference of Harry point to new Harry? Is this possible? So what with what whose reference and whose object? So, so data method belongs to the, so all the same output, right? So even though the parent has given an abstract function, okay, even though if you give an abstract function, it is okay. Does Harry give new Harry healthcare? The last one was clothing, right? Clothing was of new Harry itself, correct? So did Amitabh give Abhishek car? No, right? But had Amitabh given Abhishek even an abstract car would have done. So even the abstract function also is a valid function which you can inherit. So here this will be same. And now can I use husband reference to new Harry? So PP new C very widely used, guys. And output will be the same, correct? Yes. Output will be the same. All the three outputs are same. Okay, three outputs all are same. So you can inherit. So why we use interfaces? We just list down the function which we will perform in an interface, then we try to implement them. Okay, so tomorrow I'll take a real world example of where we can use abstract classes and interfaces. Okay, I hope the theoretical concept is clear now. I'll share some questions with you all, practice them. So if I make a interface, let's say I make an interface, let's say shape. What I make? Shape. And in that shape function I put two functions, void area and void perimeter. Now do they have an implementation? Then I go and make a class circle which does what? Circle does what? Implements shape. Now what is the responsibility of circle? To give body to both the functions. So here you can add the logic, okay, for area of circle and here you can add the logic for perimeter of circle, correct? Similarly, if I make one more class, rectangle, then what does it do? Implements shape. So here it can also implement shape and it can give the logic as per its, right? So here I can write what? Logic for area of rectangle and logic for area perimeter of rectangle. So like this we can have interfaces which will just show me what task I will do and the task will be done inside the methods. So your interface just gives you abstract view of what all tasks we can do on a shape. Getting?
Yes, sir.